Stop surviving and start building the faith that turns struggle into empire. You know what nobody tells you about survival? That it was never supposed to be your permanent address. I want to start by talking about someone who changed the way I see community, resilience, and the power of showing up. Mo Underdown. Let me tell you something about this human being. Mo isn't someone who talks about uplifting Black owned businesses from a distance. They live it, they breathe it. They've built a platform that doesn't just shine a light on overlooked voices, it amplifies them until the world has no choice but to listen. Mo Underdown is living proof that one person's commitment to community can shift the trajectory of entire lives, entire legacies, entire futures. And today I want to share what Mo taught me about resilience, faith, and the kind of community support that doesn't just help you survive, it helps you build empires. Because here's the thing, we live in a world that loves a good underdog story, but only after the underdog wins, only after the accolades roll in, only after the empire is built and the cameras show up. But what about the middle? What about the part where you're there grinding in the dark, praying the lights stay on, wondering if anyone even sees you? What about the part where you're one bad month away from losing everything, but you show up anyway? That's where faith lives. Not in the highlight reel, not in the Instagram post with the perfect caption. Faith lives in the hustle, in the doubt, in the moment when quitting makes more sense than continuing, but you decide to keep going anyway. And Mo Underdown reminded me that faith isn't a feeling you wait around for, it's a decision, a daily one, to believe that your journey matters, that your struggle has purpose, that the obstacles in front of you aren't stop signs, they're detours guiding you towards something you can't even see yet. Let me tell you about a man named Lon Walls. Lon founded Bondo Combat Athletics, a training center that teaches way more than how to throw a punch or block a kick. It teaches discipline, focus, confidence. It teaches people how to stand firm when life tries to knock them flat. And if you think that's just about martial arts, you're missing the entire point. Lon built this space with limited resources. In a community where Black owned businesses are often overlooked, underfunded, and flat out underestimated, he didn't have venture capital knocking on his door. He didn't have a network of investors ready to write checks. He had a vision, a skill set, and a stubborn refusal to let circumstance dictate his outcome. So he created a hub, a sanctuary, a place where people could come and not just train their bodies, but fortify their spirits. And here's what gets me, Lon didn't do this because it was easy, he did it because it was necessary. Because he understood something that Mo Underdown has been preaching for years. When you build something rooted in faith and community, you're not just creating a business, you're creating a movement. You're creating a space where people can become the version of themselves they didn't know was possible. Bando Combat Athletics became more than a gym. It became a place where resilience wasn't just taught, it was lived, where people walked in carrying the weight of their struggles and walked out standing a little taller, a little stronger, a little more sure of who they were becoming. But let's be real for a second. Faith without action is just hope wrapped in a pretty bow. And Mo knows this. That's why they've dedicated their platform to showcasing businesses like Noir Sunshine Wines and Liquid Intrusion Brewing Company, two beverage creators who took their craft, their pride, and their community support and turned it into something undeniable. These aren't just drinks, they're declarations, declarations that say, we belong here. We deserve to be celebrated. We will not shrink ourselves to make anyone comfortable. And you want to know the wildest part? They did this while facing structural barriers that would make most people quit before they even got started. Limited access to capital, limited access to networks, limited access to the rooms where decisions get made and opportunities get handed out. But they showed up anyway. They created anyway. They poured their souls into bottles and said, "This is us. This is our story. This is our legacy." Because that's what resilience looks like. It's not about never falling, it's not about being unbreakable. It's about getting back up, dusting yourself off, and deciding that your dream is worth more than your fear. It's about looking at a system that wasn't designed for you and building your own anyway. Mo Underdown has been amplifying stories like this for years, and every single time the message is the same. Your journey matters. Your struggle is not in vain, and the community you build around you will be the foundation that holds you up when you can't hold yourself. Now, let me tell you about Fleurs d'Ave, a floral design company that's part of the family legacy behind Wiley Funeral Homes. And I know what you're thinking, flowers? Really? But stay with me. Fleur d'Ave isn't just about pretty arrangements and color palettes. It's about showing up for people during life's most significant, most vulnerable moments: weddings, funerals, celebrations, grief, all of it. And they do it with elegance, with care, with a level of service that says, "I see you, I honor you, your moment matters." And just like Lawn Walls, and just like the creators behind Noir Sunshine Wines and Liquid Intrusion Brewing Company, Fleur d'Ave has faced the same uphill battle: limited visibility, limited resources, limited access to the platforms and networks that make scaling easier. But they leaned into their faith, they leaned into their community, they leaned into the belief that their work mattered, even when the world wasn't paying attention yet. Because that's the secret, isn't it? Faith isn't about having all the answers, it's about trusting the process even when the process feels impossible. It's about showing up even when you don't know how it's all going to work out. It's about believing that the struggle is shaping you into the person capable of holding the success you're praying for. Mo Underdown understands this on a cellular level. And through our conversation, I realized something profound. We spend so much time trying to control outcomes that we forget to honor the journey. We forget that the struggle is where the strength gets built, that the obstacles are where the character gets forged, that the moments when we feel most alone are often the moments when we're being prepared for something greater than we can imagine. And I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying you won't cry. I'm not saying you won't want to quit. But I am saying that when you root yourself in faith, when you surround yourself with a community that believes in you, when you commit to showing up even when it's hard, you become unstoppable. Let's talk about community for a second, because we throw that word around a lot, but do we really understand what it means? Community isn't just the people who show up when you're winning, it's the people who show up when you're losing. It's the people who see your vision when all you have is a dream and a prayer. It's the people who invest in you, not because it's convenient, but because they believe in what you're building. And for Black owned businesses, community isn't just important, it's essential, it's survival. Because the systems weren't built for us. The access wasn't designed for us, the resources weren't allocated for us, so we had to build our own. We had to create our own networks, our own support systems, our own pathways to success. And that's exactly what Mo Underdown has been doing: platforming businesses, telling stories, creating visibility, amplifying voices that have been systematically silenced. Because they know that when one of us wins, we all win. When one of us breaks through, we all break through. When one of us thrives, we create a blueprint for others to follow. That's the power of community. That's the power of faith. That's the power of resilience. But here's the part that nobody talks about, the part that makes me want to cry and scream and celebrate all at the same time. The journey is worth it, not just the destination, the journey. Every late night, every rejection, every moment of doubt, every time you wanted to quit but didn't, every time you felt invisible but kept going, every time you bet on yourself when nobody else would. That's where the magic is. That's where the transformation happens. That's where you become the person capable of holding the success you're praying for. And Mo Underdown reminded me of this truth. Our struggles are not punishments, they're preparation. They're not meant to break us, they're meant to build us. And when we embrace the journey, when we stop resisting the process, when we trust that every step is leading us somewhere purposeful, everything changes. So here's what I want you to take with you: three truths that Mo Underdown and the incredible businesses they've highlighted have taught me. First, resilience is not about being unbreakable. It's about breaking and choosing to rebuild. It's about falling and choosing to rise. It's about failing and choosing to try again. Resilience is a choice, and it's a choice you get to make every single day. Second, community is your superpower. You were never meant to do this alone. You were never meant to carry it all by yourself. You were never meant to figure it out in isolation. Find your people, invest in your people, show up for your people. Because when you do, they will show up for you. And together you will build something that no obstacle can tear down. Third, faith is the foundation. Not the kind of faith that sits back and waits for miracles, the kind of faith that works, the kind of faith that moves, the kind of faith that says, I don't know how this is going to work out, but I trust that it will. And I'm going to keep showing up until it does. Because that's what Lon Walls did at Bando Combat Athletics. That's what the creators behind Noir Sunshine Wines and Liquid Intrusion Brewing Company did. That's what the family behind Fleur Daff did. And that's what Mo Underdown has been championing all along. They didn't wait for permission. They didn't wait for perfect conditions. They didn't wait for someone to hand them an opportunity. They created it, they built it, they believed in it, and they trusted the journey. So here's what I need you to do right now, today, this week. Stop waiting, stop doubting, stop shrinking. Your journey matters, your dream matters, your voice matters, and the world needs what you have to offer. Seek out Black owned businesses in your community, support them, amplify them, invest in them, not out of charity, out of recognition. Recognition that when you invest in them, you're investing in someone's dream. You're investing in resilience. You're investing in faith. You're investing in a future where we all thrive together. And to every person listening who's in the middle of their struggle right now, who's wondering if it's worth it, who's questioning whether they should keep going, I need you to hear me. You are not alone. Your journey is not in vain. And your faith, your resilience, your commitment to showing up, it's going to pay off. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it will, because that's what Mo Underdown has shown us. That when we root ourselves in faith, when we lean into our community, when we embrace the journey with all its messiness and beauty, we don't just survive, we thrive. We build, we inspire, we create legacies that outlive us. So let's stop treating survival like it's the goal. Let's start treating thriving like it's our birthright, because it is. And you, yes, you are worthy of every good thing that's coming your way. This is your moment. Not to wait, not to hope, not to survive. This is your moment to build, to rise, to claim the empire that your faith has been preparing you for all along. Trust the journey. Lean into your faith, invest in your community, and watch what happens when you finally stop surviving and start building